Bill Murray is every analyst's nightmare as the lovable neurotic who latches onto his doctor. Richard Dreyfuss co-stars in What About Bob on the Movie Channel.
We're heading for Sturgis. The bad boys and girls of WCW straddle their hogs and head for the world-famous Sturgis Rally. We're going to take you places you've never seen before. You'll smell the gasoline burning and hear the tires squeal. Make the ride to Sturgis for WCW's Hog Wild. Saturday, August 10th, live and only on pay-per-view. ESPN turns back the hands of time and looks at two legendary boxers. Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard fight again on Super Bouts. Spend an hour in the joint as A&E visits the toughest prisons in the country and meets the men who call a cell home on Investigative Reports.
Happy Sunday, family. Welcome to our classic pay-per-view watch-along after a week off. We are here to watch WWF Unforgiven 1999. I was at this show, told the story many times of my experiences at this pay-per-view, and it's a pretty crazy one. We've reviewed it before, but we've never watched it together. And since it's September, what a perfect time of year to watch this one. We might even follow it up with another Unforgiven next week. Who knows? But good to see you guys. Happy weekend, family. Hope you guys are having a good one. Hope you guys are having a good NFL Sunday. I have got the Bears and Packers pulled up right here on the wall, so I'll be eyeballing that as we go through here. So if you guys are big football fans and you like to watch the Sunday night games throughout the football season, we'll be doing that. I'll have the game up here along with the wrestling, so we can have wrestling here, football here, and you guys in front of me. It should be a fun fall and winter season here on Sundays on the channel. Hope you guys are having a good one. Let me just make sure I can be seen and heard and all that good stuff. Right on. Okay, we look pretty good there. Let me scroll down to the chat, see who all is here so far. I want to welcome some new channel members in this week. I know we welcomed a couple yesterday. Jeff McMahon, thank you for becoming a family member. My friend, I know you're in here every now and then, and I believe you might even follow me on Twitter. So I'm glad that you are here. Welcome to the family. Thank you for joining and becoming a member. We did our first ever members-only watch-along on Friday, and we're going to do 1 to maybe 2 of those per month, and we're going to watch a Raw or Nitro or some sort of 2-hour wrestling show together for the members only. So glad you are here, Jeff, and thanks for joining. Good to see Jet the Hawk, Nick Musser. We are pro wrestling in the house. Zach Polgett, Nick Musser. Right on. We got family members here. Zane G as well. We got David Brand, Ray, James, Julia, Deshaun Robinson in the house. James Weston, I'm not sure if I got you. Ray, Joseph, Vash Starwind, JJ Leg. Good to see you, man. I believe JJ Leg is the very first ever channel member. He was the first person to sign up, so he gets the trophy, or he gets the cookie. George Morris already dropping in $5. How's it going, dude? Hey, Greg, how are you doing, and how are your cats? Unforgiven 99, 10 out of 10. This is the night me and my girlfriend watched this, and the Bears game was on. No kidding. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The Bears played on this day. You know what? I don't even know the date of this Unforgiven in 99, but as you guys know, I have a lot of memories of it, as we'll be getting into. Ultimate WWE Fan for Life is back again, as always. Good to see a good handful of you in here. Sorry I missed last week, but I was with my family celebrating a belated birthday for myself. So I was with them last week, and we weren't up here to do a watch-along, so I'm glad we're back this week. You guys know what to do. Hit that thumbs-up button. We'll shoot the shit for a couple of more minutes before we pull up the Peacock and hit play on Unforgiven 99. If you're on Peacock right now looking for this, you want to go to Unforgiven Season 2, Episode 1, 2 hours, 38 minutes, and 51-second runtime for this, and pretty typical length of a pay-per-view here, and this show was all kinds of weird and fun. Arguably has one of the worst matches in WWE history on this event, and that is, of course, the Kennel from Hell. I saw the Kennel from Hell live, and this is actually the very final night of the Blue Bar Cage. It would never be seen on WWE television again. The time before this, it was used at St. Valentine's Massacre, but it was painted black. And the time before that, I don't recall. They might have brought it out and busted it out once in 1998, perhaps. I think they might have. But then the only other Blue Bar Cage match I can remember prior to then would have been 97 at SummerSlam when Mankind and Triple H fought in there. But they busted it out maybe once, maybe twice at the most. And then here, they busted it out one final time, most likely so you could see. If it would have been a mesh cage inside of the cell, you wouldn't have been able to see. So at least the Blue Bar Cage is separate from the cell, and it gives them two separate identities. That's why I'm guessing they busted out the Blue Bar here, but it's the last appearance for the Blue Bar Cage ever in WWE, to the best of my recollection. Also, it was the third pay-per-view I attended in 1999. I was at WrestleMania 15. I was also at King of the Ring, and here I attended Unforgiven because WWE around this time period loved rolling through the Carolinas. Holy shit. They had 5 cities in North Carolina alone that they could hit. They had Raleigh, they had Fayetteville, they had Charlotte, they had Greensboro. Actually, that's 4. There might have been another one. No, I think it was just those 4. But that's 4 cities, all in pretty close proximity to each other, just in North Carolina alone. Then you add, Columbus, South Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, Hampton, Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia. A lot of good venues and good towns right where I used to live back in the day. And WWE would swing through there every year for multiple shows. And we would try to go to everything. We tried to go to every pay-per-view and Raw that we could. And pay-per-view number 3 for me. Still blows my mind how I was able to afford this back then. I mean, I had a job. I was making money and stuff. But to be traveling like this, I think I was skipping out on a few bills to make a lot of this stuff work back 23 years ago. It was a lot of fun, though. And I can be seen early on in this show holding up a very mature sign. About 2 minutes in, after they go through the intro, it burns when I pee. That is me right there. So you can see me as Unforgiven opens up. You want to look for that big candy-ass sign in the crowd, and I'm sitting right there. It's on the lower level. Had really good seats for the show as well. Really good eyesight to the ring. Had a great time and loved bringing signs to the arenas. This sign just happened to be caught on camera. It was one of many signs that I took to shows, and that was one of the most fun parts of going to wrestling shows back then, is that taking signs was basically like your Twitter. Wrestling was so much better without cell phones because everybody went and had a good time, and it would be a lot of fun. Me and my buddy, we'd draw up several signs, 5 to 10 signs, and one of my favorite parts about going to shows is to pop everyone in the arena or to pop people in line waiting to get in. Like, you've been to shows before. Everybody's waiting, lined up outside the building to get in. Hold up your signs and give people a chuckle, give people a laugh. Same thing in the arena. I'd hold it up before the show even starts. People on the other side laughing their asses off and stuff. So that was one of my favorite memories of going to shows, is making the signs and putting the most ridiculous shit you could even think of on there, as long as it wasn't we didn't go too overboard. We didn't put any curse words or anything like that, but we would get a little bit gross. And I'm happy to inform you guys that I have had that issue taken care of. Little ointment, knocked it right out. And we are now good to go down south, if you know what I mean. So those were great times. I wish it was still like that, because just going and having a good time with complete strangers, nobody was really arguing. You saw a lot of dumb people and dumb idiots saying stupid shit, but nobody was arguing and their opinions and shit. They were just there having a good time. It was the Attitude Era. Everything was over, and it was a blast. So I will share with you my thoughts on the show from my perspective, from my vantage point as we go through here. And as I've talked about many times on this channel, probably told the story half dozen times at least, after this show, as we were driving home late at night on the interstate, I don't know which one in North Carolina we would have been on, might have been 40. We're driving, and there's this 18-wheeler that's basically in front of us, and we're just cruising. I'm driving, cruising down the freeway, but it's late at night. It's like 1 a.m, and my buddy who's sitting with me sees the truck start to fishtail. And he's like, slow down, slow down, slow down. I didn't even know what he was talking about. And so I kind of start braking, and I see the truck just going all over the road. And so he saw that the dude was losing control. He told me to stop and slow down. The truck just weaves and then tips over on the side of the freeway, and basically just slides over to the side, but is blocking a good portion of traffic. So we, of course, pull over right away, and we're not out of the car for, 30 seconds, and a minivan pulls right up behind us. Who jumps out? Chris Jericho, Edge, and Christian. Jericho had just come into the company the previous month. First thing I said to him was, welcome aboard. He's like, thanks, man. Are you guys hurt? They thought we were hurt. They thought we were in the accident. I'm like, no, it's us. The driver climbed out of the truck. He was fine. There was no other cars involved. But I remember the three of them being so cool, is like they were kind of hanging out. They wanted to make sure everybody was okay and accounted for. I saw Christian, picking up a girl on the side of the road, because by now a few other cars had pulled over because they couldn't get by, and a few people saw Edge and Christian. I think Christian might have gotten some digits that night. Not totally sure. That was fun. But the three of them were unbelievably kind, and you got to think about from their perspective. It's a pay-per-view day. You got Raw the fucking next night, which was probably in Greensboro. It's probably where we were driving, actually, because Unforgiven was in Charlotte. And God knows the type of day they've had. They probably want to get to the next town, get to the hotel, so they can get a little bit of sleep before they have to show up at Raw the next night. But they stayed on the side of the road and hung out and made sure everybody was cool before they got in their van and left. And it was really, really cool of them, to the point where the very next day I called Vince McMahon's secretary, Beth Zaza, who I used to have a pretty good relationship with. She helped me out with some backstage passes and stuff back in the day, and she was always very nice to me. I called her and told her what they did. I'm like, hey, if you have any power to give anybody some days off or something, hook these guys up a little treat, because all three of them were amazingly gracious, pulling over, even though nobody was injured and even though nobody needed any help, they were there to offer it. And I thought that was really cool of all three of them. And one of my favorite stories to tell that I've told many times. But this all took place just a couple hours after Unforgiven 99 went off the air that night on pay-per-view. One of the coolest memories of wrestling that I have. That and running into Mick Foley in the gas station, which was also cool. AEW is dying. Well, no more than your social life there, buddy. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Coming in here being a troll. I'll tell you what, this is a fun place to be. If you are one of these tribal morons, such a loser, so desperate for attention, you have to spew stupid shit about your stupid wrestling opinions, you will get blocked on this channel. So Camry Grimes, enjoy being a loser, because you're not going to do it here. Anyway, now that we've been jibber-jabbering, hopefully you guys have gotten Peacock pulled up. Like I said, Season 2 of Unforgiven, Episode 1, 2 hours, 38 minutes, and 51 seconds runtime. You guys know the drill here on the channel. As soon as we hit play together, timer above my head will begin to run. That will be our savior. If anything happens, if you experience an internet interruption, if there's anything, lines get crossed on the stream here and we have any interruptions or buffering or anything like that, the timer above my head always runs. So if anything happens to me or to you guys, just make sure your pay-per-view timer matches the timer above my head and we can all follow along just fine. And that's the way it works. Of course, we do watch all of this on Peacock. So if you are watching on the WWE Network in another part of the world, or if you're watching this thing on VHS or DVD or something like that, obviously you're not going to be able to follow along perfectly here, but it still should be pretty close. So get your Unforgiven pulled up. If you have to watch any ads, get those done. Get all of your zeros across the board there, and we're going to hit play together in just a second. And don't skip the intro or anything like that. We watch it right from the beginning. I am going to crack open Stone Cold's Broken Skull American Lager. I went and got a sub today, got a sandwich, right next to where a Bevmo is located. So I'm like, you know what? I need some drinking material or drinking material. I need some beverages, I should say, some cold, frosty beverages for tonight's watch-along. So I cruised into Bevmo, picked myself up a 4-pack for $12 of these Broken Skull American Lagers. So cheers to you. Hopefully you guys are having a good Sunday. I got a lot ahead on this thing, but I'm going to try to get that working. All right. Broken Skull open. Peacock pulled up. Fingers are ready. And the football game is about to start as well. I think that starts at 20 after. I saw that the Lions won today. What the shit is that? Holy cow, look at them. Apparently their coach is, or GM or whatever his name is, trying to build something pretty decent there. But I'll believe that when I see it. You know what I'm saying? All right. I've got my fingers ready to rock. Hopefully you guys do as well. One finger on the timer for me, one finger on the play button. And we're going to do a countdown from 3 and hit play together. So y'all get your fingers ready. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Nice. Yeah. I think out of the 50 or so watch-alongs we've done, I've only had one time where I kind of missed the button, and I was like a second or two behind, but we've had a really good batting average when it comes to starting these pay-per-views. All right, so we get this big video package here. Intro. This was right after Triple H won the title at SummerSlam, then dropped it to McMahon, I guess, right? And then they would do this 6-pack challenge. Pretty sure this would also be the last appearance of the British Bulldog in his British Bulldog gear. He would start wearing jeans after this. We were about, I would say, 2 weeks away from the death of Gorilla Monsoon. I was at WrestleMania 15, which was also Gorilla's last appearance. So I was actually in the building for the last time Gorilla appeared on WWE TV. That's right. Lions were featured on Hard Knocks. That's right. I forgot about that. I remember when I read that, I'm like, they're going to feature the Lions? Well, good. I'm glad somebody's finally in that franchise that wants to make them a winning team. Good. I forget who's in the 6-pack. Oh, I think they're all on here. So it's Rock, Mankind, Kane, Triple H, Big Show, and Davey. And Austin is the referee because I guess Austin was starting to have neck problems around this time. And, of course, he would be run over by Rikishi in a couple of months. Oh, I just realized I got the wrong Unforgiven logo on this. I used the wrong one. All right, let's see if we can see me. I think in about 10 or 15 seconds, you'll see it burns when I pee. Keep your eye out for it. Here it comes. They're probably going to zoom in on me. Look for the candy ass. There I am. There he is. Look at that guy. My fucking ponytail. Oh, my God. Those were the days. North Carolina, man, I give my old home state a lot of shit sometimes, but great wrestling fans there. Dumber than an ox, but they're good fans. Y2 gay sign in the crowd. That's right. They were doing the referees on strike shit. I did not see these guys that day. We usually did get to the arenas pretty early when we would go to shows, but I do not remember seeing the referees that night. Yeah, so my seat is a little bit over that tunnel over there. So basically the hard cam is going to be facing me. Oh, where's he going? Where's Val going? These were the days. I miss this time period. 98, 99, 2000, 2001. That block of 4 years there, I went to so many shows, which is arguably probably the best time period and most fun time to go to shows ever in WWE. And I was right there in the middle of it. Me and my buddy Daniel went to all of these things. Every now and then I take my roommate. I took about 4 different girls to wrestling shows, and they all had a blast. All you got to do is mention The Rock. They were all about it. The Rock? I'll go see The Rock. Look at the fucking brawler as the ref. I love it. Scab refs. So I guess he's what, facing Steve Blackman here? Because I don't even remember this card, really. The big Q Boski. Is that Sheamus in the front row there in the blue? All right, here we go. Packers and Green Bay. Or I'm sorry, Bears and Packers are underway. That's another reason why I can't believe I was at the show. The flood. Was blown from one end of the... That's right. My shit still wouldn't have been back to... I almost forgot about this. Man. Back in 99, in September of that year, 2 hurricanes blew through North Carolina and flooded the fuck out of my town where I lived. Really badly. I mean, really badly. River crested, flooded the power plant. The roads were washed out. You couldn't get anywhere. Had no power, no food. No grocery stores were open. It was Armageddon. And all you had to do was just sit. All you could do was just sit there and wait for the water to recede, which took days and days and days and days. And I was stuck upstairs in my apartment for a few days with nothing but Gatorade and granola bars. No lights, no power. It was bad. It was bad and kind of scary. And so that was just a couple of weeks after this. So that's another thing that blows my mind is how I managed to get to this show after all the shit I was going through at home.
These guys are looking for a huge victory here on Unforgiven. And Val Venus, the aggressor here in the early going, it would seem.
Yeah, Hurricane Floyd. There's one before Floyd came through, and then Floyd came through right after it and just dumped a ton of rain. And I lived in a town that was on the Tar River, and the river just rose 100 feet, flooded fucking 4 towns. There was street signs that were underwater, stop signs underwater in my neighborhood. The front page of the USA Today was 1 block away from my apartment. and it was a picture of the road sign of, like, the green road signs that, like, cross that you see on the street. The water was right up to the green. And, like, that was the front page of the USA Today. It was just like a block away. I could see it from my window. So crazy. Luckily, my apartment was upstairs. I was spared, but my neighbors underneath were not so lucky. Next morning, go out in the parking lot, because my parking lot was kind of on a slope. Little car antennas sticking up out of the water. Everybody's car was underwater. It was so gnarly. So I don't know how the hell I made it to Charlotte. Crazy times. I remember there was a little grocery store 2 towns away that was like on a separate generator or something, and they were able to open. But the problem is all the roads were washed out. So if you could find a way to get there, you could go to the store. So I remember it was probably only like 3 miles away, but I drove for an hour to find all these little back ways to get to it. And when I got there, a lot of people had the same idea. The shelves were bare. All I could get, like I said, was some granola bars. I got some Gatorade. One guy offered me some bread. He had like 2 loaves of bread. He goes, "Do you want one of these, a loaf of bread?" And I thought that was so nice. I'm like, "I'm okay. I had other shit. I was fine." And plus, the restaurant I worked for, I was able to go in there and raid the cooler because everything was going to spoil. So I took a bunch of food from the restaurant and stuff and just had to survive. Just went to my very good friend's wedding 2 weeks before this as well. The same person who called me on 9/11 told me to wake the fuck up 2 years later. She got married about 2 weeks before this, and I was down there for that. That was fun. And all that was happening, the wedding, the hurricane, and somehow me getting my ass to Charlotte to meet Edge and Christian in a car accident. What a weird time. 22-year-old Greg.
Mr. McMahon let me in on a little scoop earlier this afternoon. The 2 participants that are going to start that match off are going to be The Rock. Whoa. The 2 starters are going to be The Rock.
Brooklyn Brawler, you suck at counting.
Man, after what happened on SmackDown
Thursday night on UPN. That's right, SmackDown had just started. Charlotte was about a 4-hour drive from where I lived. And that was when I lived in Greenville, but then I would move to Wilmington shortly after this, and it was about the same distance. Greensboro was about 3 hours away, maybe 3.5. Raleigh was about 2. Charlotte was about 4 or 5 maybe. And Fayetteville was about 2. Fayetteville was closer. But either way, I had to drive several hours to go to any of these shows in North Carolina. My love of wrestling teleported me there. Yeah, kind of. Well, I probably had the tickets bought way before. I probably had these tickets for months, so I was just going to go regardless, I guess.
Unforgiven. It's going to be special, all right, because history's going to be made here tonight. New WWF champion's going to be crowned. Yeah, we could have a first time ever a female.
That's right, yeah. WWE title would change hands. I'm trying to think how many times in total I've seen the WWE title change hands. This would have been my third. See, I saw the WWE title change hands 3 times in '99 live. WrestleMania 15, night after King of the Ring, and right here. I don't remember. I saw Brock beat Kofi a couple years ago. Saw CM Punk beat Hangman Page. Russian leg sweep. Blackman's still a whole year away. Just a couple weeks ago, we watched SummerSlam 2000. I was at that show as well, when Blackman nearly murdered Shane McMahon. Thank you, Danny, for the most irrelevant opinion I've ever seen. Thank you for sharing. I think chips are better than pretzels, so in case you're scoring at home. Hurricane Irene, too. That might have been the other one. One came before. I just don't remember the one that came before Floyd. And Floyd just straight fucked us. Because the ground was already so saturated, everything was so flooded, and then Floyd blew through. Oh, yeah, and it did smell, too. And a lot of the farms, you know, and shit like that were all flooded, and there was a lot of dead animals, like, floating downstream. And there was this joke, because there was a lot of, like, dead pigs and stuff, so there was this joke that was going around, said, pork, the other seafood. Big money shot. He's going to beat Blackman? No. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, I wish that would have been a shoot. Look at the WWF spray painted on the inside of that. Oh, he's going to get the duffel bag? That's a baseball bat bag, Easton. Ooh. Oh, yeah, I remember BB. And I remember being in the audience and seeing her from there and hearing everybody, like, start wooing her. And I'm like, I think she's going to wind up being a wrestler or something. Oh. Yeah, Jim Dotson. I always thought that he should be a wrestler. They should get him involved. But taking down Blackman's kind of weird. Yeah, I could have done a lot better job than the brawler. That's right. Taker was getting hurt, I think, at this time.
Is that what your problem is? If you check the roster, the last time I checked it, The Undertaker's name is not on the roster. My name is The Big Show. Got it? And if you remember, I've been to the learning tree. I've had all the tough love and the hard knocks. And I have a killer instinct in me now that nobody can compare with. And there is no way that I am leaving tonight without the WWF title in my bag or around my waist.
Okay, Big Show. I still can't get over Val Venus beating Steve Blackman because he stole his weapons. You know, that bag, that baseball bat bag, Easton. I'm good friends with Andy Ashby, former San Diego Padres pitcher. He comes in my restaurant all the time, and he's great. And we hired his daughter to be a hostess there a few years ago, and she worked for us. And her name was Easton, and he named her after the bats, which I thought was funny. The previous month, right? Didn't Mark Henry turn on him? Oh, this is so sad. Oh, yeah, that's right. And D'Lo helped him get in shape. Oh, yeah.
Henry's health was in trouble. It was D'Lo Brown who helped and encouraged his friend to get back
We just talked about D'Lo on Friday because he had a blindfold match against Triple H on that Raw Roulette show, and I was like, look at the shape he's in. You know what's sad about this? 9 days later, D'Lo would paralyze Draws. Pretty sure that was October 5th. Yeah, Kenny Shamrock was on his way out too, William. That's a good point. He started doing the deal with Jericho, and then something happened there. And I got some opinions on the Jericho X-Pac match. When that match would happen later on, the fans in the arena were chanting boring. And I remember getting legit pissed. I'm like, these are two of the best wrestlers in the world, assholes. Who are these women? I mean, Vivian, I know who you are. Oh! Come on, Sexual Chocolate. You can't be talking to Lillian like that. See, what's stupid about this is the referees wear their referee outfits. Teddy Long. Just wait. You can't wear your street clothes because then they wouldn't know you're a referee, right? Sexual, baby. And I want to give it all to you. That's right. I don't know his lyrics, but I like pretending I do. It reminds me of, it's like the deep-voiced guy in Boyz II Men. Every Boyz II Men song, the deep-voiced guy's got to talk. Baby, every time I see you. So who does he think he is? The Godfather? He's got some of North Carolina's finest there. He's got Liv Morgan and Tina Turner. Good job, Sexual Chocolate. Baby, you know I love you. Oh, Dr. Tom. Look at he's getting in his face, pointing his face. Stop pointing in my face, Tom. Hearing Howard Finkel say the words Sexual Chocolate is awesome. No kidding, Ramon. D'Lo got that head shake from Smokey on Friday. That makes a lot of sense. He was pretty good at it. D'Lo arguably had a better career. Wait, Smokey is Chris Tucker, right, on Friday? There's not. Check out that green strap on that European belt. Y'all go start the car. Yeah. Go start that car. You know, Mark, I can start mine from in my house. I don't know. Oh, you need to get yourself a nicer car, I guess. You can just start it from the ring. Go get you a Tesla. You got a brainerism. Yeah. He got a brainerism. Brainerisms suck. Have you guys ever had a brainerism? Oh, horrible.
So I'm just going to do this another time.
Yeah, just do it another time, Mark. I don't blame you. If I had a brainerism, there's no way I could work a match. No, here comes D'Lo. D'Lo does not care about brainerisms, which I think is a bit rude. Green Bay up 3-0 on the Bears. That's right, William. Jarrett was on his way out as well. I did not know that. Cal Cullen, 1712. Shamrock was meant to be in the 2000 Rumble, according to JR. Spot went to Backlund instead. Interesting. I did not know that. D'Lo with the bump. Nick, Boyz II Men might have written that theme. I'm not sure. Baby. What's going on, Adam? Everybody else in here that's been popping in? The limber tail. I love that. The limber tail. Don't be getting a limber tail.
Mark Henry, look at that big home around. He's the strongest man in the world. D'Lo Brown knows that better than anybody. And Mark Henry's gotten himself into much better shape. A large part of that success is attributed to D'Lo Brown.
Wow. There's so many matches that I've seen live that I don't even remember being there for.
D'Lo Brown, the first near fall of the contest.
And in case you're wondering, that guy in the front row in the tank top, that's not me. I mean, we look alike, but it's not me.
Next Saturday night, if you will, October the 2nd.
I'm up on the first level,
The Pro Wrestling Federation's UK
having urinary tract issues.
box office exclusive in the UK next Saturday night. This could be all here. 1, 2 in a near fall. And a little bit of slow count from the head scab. One of these two will be headed to the UK next Saturday night on Sky Box Office as the European champion. Whom will it be?
Yeah, homemaker match was no mercy, but I'm pretty sure Jarrett and Chyna worked here. I think they worked this show. Because the reason I remember this, well, I got to make sure I'm right about that, but I remember knowing about Jeff's contract shit. It was already out on the hotlines and stuff because I know being at this show, I was assuming that Jarrett was going to lose the title because word was out that he was probably heading to WCW. So I'm pretty sure he wins here later, and I remember that really surprising me. I'm like, oh shit, maybe he's not leaving. But then again, I'm not totally sure if I'm right that match happens here or not. Because wasn't the Good Housekeeping match a rematch to what originally happened? Let me look at cruise by these results. Yeah. He beat her by DQ after this. So I'm sorry to give away the ending there, but I'm just trying to get my memory straight in case We Are Pro Wrestling isn't here to straighten me out. We Are Pro Wrestling, you should have seen me yesterday during the, or Friday during the Raw Roulette. I had shit all fucked up. I could have used you. In my brain has Mandela affected Kane's unmasking into thinking that it was a tag team match against the Dudleys. I have no idea why I thought that. Maybe because RVD was there at the end when he unmasked, and my brain just misremembered that. But it was, in fact, in a World Heavyweight Championship match against Triple H. I just didn't remember that properly. So you would have came in handy.
Mark Henry maybe wasted a little bit of time there rubbing his jowls. He's woozy.
His jowls. Yeah, so I just remember at this point already knowing about the Jarrett situation. At least that's what I was reading in the newsletters and the web and listening on the hotlines. His name was brought up a lot, and they were saying he was heading to WCW. Because you got to remember, Russo and Ferrara are either about to bounce or have bounced. They were days away from bouncing.
Everybody doesn't have that philosophy. Look at this. Mark Henry slowed it down now. And using that ball the side.
Oh, William, Fall Brawl 99. I don't even remember that show. See, 99 WCW and 2000 WCW, I just didn't enjoy at all. Didn't watch much of it because I thought it was terrible. And I don't have any good memories of 99 WCW. I barely have any good memories of 98 WCW. You know, to me, WCW was like 91 to 97. Everything in there was marvelous, or 90 to 97. But after that, just garbage. Come on, D'Lo. D'Lo, do you even win the European title here? I don't even know. Come on, Chicago. Yeah. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. What put me over the edge with him was a couple weeks ago when he showed up in Green Bay and he did that slow motion like Nick Cage Con Air walk, and he had his like duffel bag and he throws the bag down and he walks. It's so fucking stupid. I'm like, what a weirdo. So after that, I'm like, you know, if he was not already disliked by me, that just put me over the edge. What I find the funniest about the people who are like obsessed with the alpha male, they're so in the closet, all of them. You know, everything that they do when they try to exemplify the alpha male, it comes off gay, which I just love. Warms my heart. Warms my gay loving heart. That shit that they were running on Fox News with the dudes like tanning their testicles. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is what you're so obsessed with being a man that you're gonna tan your testicles? Crazy world. Oh. Big leg drop. What I also remember about Henry and D'Lo is that the two of them together, like that whole thing, the fans really liked both of them. Mark Henry started getting over with the sexual chocolate. D'Lo, of course, always had a lot of fans' respect. And the pop and the reaction from the audience that they got at SummerSlam when they did the big turn, I thought was going to make this, feud of the fucking year. But really felt like the enthusiasm dropped off from the fans with these two guys. Even being in my seat at the time, nobody was really... I might have been getting some popcorn at this point. I'm not sure. Even though I really, really did like D'Lo a lot. Hey, JJ, Aaron Rodgers is a guy that I've always liked. You know why? I've met him a shit ton of times. He used to live next door to my restaurant, and he came in all the time. My first few years of living here, all the way up until about 2015, 2016, I would see Aaron Rodgers quite often. He would come in. Drew Brees also lives on the same block. And Rodgers would be in a lot. It was very cool to see him because, he was a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and it was awesome. And he would come in there on, on a couple of dates or whoever he was with, and he kept a house down there where I lived, as did Coach Dennis Green before he passed away. Ryan Tannehill's got a house down there. Drew Brees, John Lynch, former Broncos guy. I think he works in the 49ers now, I think. Or no, he might be a broadcaster now. I'm not sure. Ooh. Oh, and Rodgers was always awesome. I always liked him. I thought it was cool that I regularly saw Aaron Rodgers in person, but he's he sucks. You gotta be Terry. I know. Don't forget, Mark Henry's got a brainerism, and he's in the ring wrestling. That's very irresponsible, I think, on WWE's part. I mean, if somebody got a brainerism today, you wouldn't just be put in the ring. You'd call the brainerism doctor to make sure he clears you. I don't even know who the top brainerism specialist is. Might be Dr. Julie Andrews in Mobile, Alabama. Might be her. I'd go D'Lo as the best European champion ever, sure. From Helsinki, Chicago. Or from Helsinki, Illinois or something. Or no, Chicago, Helsinki, or whatever he was doing with the title was pretty funny. And a big tipper. I think Davey had a good run with it. Oh, he's trying to do... Oh, that's the only way to power bomb Mark Henry is catch him up on the ropes like that. Yeah, Vash. I've met Drew a lot of times. I almost broke Drew Brees' foot in the offseason. Oh. Yeah, D'Lo. You're looking at the real deal now. D'Lo, new European champion. All right. I was trying to think if I've ever seen any European title changes. Yeah, I guess I have. This one. I've seen every championship in WWE change hands at some point in my life. I've seen the IC change hand about 4 times. World title a bunch of times. Tag title a bunch of times. I saw the Hardys and the Outlaws both win their first ever tag team titles. That would begin 2 Hall of Fame runs. Saw all this shit in North Carolina. I miss Kakalaki, even though I love California. Baruch and Bradshaw. Look at little Michael Cole. God, he even looked like a prick back then, didn't he?
You know, we sent one team packing from ECW. Tonight, we're going to right? Now that's where the match begins and that's where it ends. And once and for all tonight in front of millions of people, they're going to see that their punk ass is in no way a match for the Acolyte.
What the hell? Is that Joey Abs? Crash? Who's the dude in the hat? Jamiroquai? Oh, it's Chaz. Oh, no. They're hurting Chaz. Oh, it's Draws. It's, what is he? Beavis Cleavage or something? I forgot about that one. Allegations that he beat his girlfriend Mariana. Mariana passed away. I don't believe. Oh my goodness. Please hold. You know what? Honestly, I think Lillian's the prettiest of all three of them. There's Jeff.
Are you trying to threaten me? Are you trying to tell me a woman is going to hit a man? I don't think so. Deborah, stay out of my damn business tonight. Let's go, kitty.
Deborah, stay out of my damn business tonight. Let's go, kitty. Jesus Christ. China. It is a shame that China didn't win this here because... Oh, she's putting on Jarrett's pants. Because that means I would have seen China win the Intercontinental title twice. She would win it at SummerSlam 2000. The next year when I was there in Raleigh. Oh, Chicago's on the board, 7-3. Ooh, have I seen the 24/7 title change hands? I don't know. I've seen the hardcore title change hands. I'm certain of it. I definitely have seen, I just wouldn't know where, but between all the shows I went to in 99 and 2000 and however long the hardcore title was around for, I think it appeared in 98. So I was going to a lot of shows for about 2.5 to 3 years of that title's history. So I definitely have. I just have to look at some results. Did it change hands at WrestleMania 15? If it did, then I saw it. Oh, we got Bruno. Yes, he's the referee. Look how little he is. The fucking cat is bigger than him. I love that they got all the agents reffing. That's awesome. My favorite Triple H theme. I'm glad that Chyna's coming out to this. Don't treat me like a woman. She hadn't had that one yet. Yeah. Good point, Fox Star Killer. And where's the WWE locker room for Jarrett? Given what the storyline is here, after what they did to Chaz. Oh, yeah, thank you for that. We Are Pro Wrestling. It changed hands at SummerSlam 2000, right? The match where Shane Peter panned off the thing. Yeah, so tags, definitely. Hardcore, yes. 24/7 title, no, I don't believe I've seen that change hands. I've only been to a couple shows since that thing's been created. Tags, IC, European, yeah. So all of the titles, at least at this time, I've seen. And I've seen the women's title change hands. I've seen it change hands at least once. But maybe more. Whatever happened to Survivor Series 2001, I was there, and I think Trish won it. She beat Jazz or something, right? All right, let's watch Chyna and Jarrett here. Look at them mixing it up. Now, next month would be the Good Housekeeping match that Jarrett would finally lose the title, and then he would turn up 24 hours later on Nitro to bash Buff Bagwell in the head with a guitar, which at that time, even at that time when WWE was just murdering WCW, I don't even know why anybody would want to go there at this point. It's probably a good move for Jarrett because with all the stars in WCW gone, he could go over there and be a world champion where he had no chance of that here. But it was still, even in 99, even at this point when WWE was not looking back and WCW was way in the rearview mirror, it was still crazy to see someone on Raw one night and Nitro the next. Or in WWE one night and Nitro the next, I should say. It was super rare. Well, many fans in the audience in North Carolina during this time would have said that move hurt China. Fans are not very original. Oh, God. Damn, Jarrett tagged her good. Jarrett is not holding back on China, which I like because I'm sure that's what China wanted. If you're going to hit me, hit me. You loved China's theme song? You mean the Don't Treat Me Like a Woman one? I remember when that song came out, we were kind of laughing because at the time, like, that's just the insult. China's a man and all that. Like, that's what everybody said. Anybody who's going to heckle her in the audience, they have no originality to them at all. They're going to say one thing and one thing only, you're a man. And so when the very first line in her theme song is Don't Treat Me Like a Woman, I was like, huh? And then when she says Don't Treat Me Like a Man, I'm like, oh, okay. But I always thought her song sucked. I was not a fan of Don't Treat Me Like a whatever. Not every theme song in WWE was great. That one wasn't good. I never really liked Big Shows. I never really liked Mr. Asses or any of those very much. What a drop kick. Jeff always had a good drop kick. That's right. So I guess maybe at the next month when Jeff leaves, Kitty aligns with China. Is that what winds up happening? And she become like mini China or something? Zach, you're heading to Raw tomorrow. Where is Raw tomorrow? Up and over she goes. Triple H taught her that. Fans are into this match. They're much more invested in this than they were D'Lo and Mark Henry. Tony Romo and Charles Barkley. I thought Subway was on the verge of bankruptcy. How can they afford Romo, Barkley, Steph Curry, Pat Mahomes? Nope. Nice kick out, China. Scab ref. Oh, San Jose, that's right. A little too far away from me. I did see that it looks like Revolution is going to be at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, which is awesome. I've always wanted to go to the Cow Palace. It's a bucket list, but San Francisco is far away from here. I might live in the same state, but it's not the same thing. It'd be the equivalent of living in South Carolina and going to New York on the East Coast. So, not going to be making Revolution because I'm going to WrestleMania in L.A. Look at Moolah and Mae Young are here. Uh-oh, Packers have scored, it looks like. It's going to be 10-7 in a minute. Fucking electric chair. Yeah, Miss Kitty. You know, Lambeau Field's probably a pretty awesome place to watch a game in when it's not butt-fuck below zero. Like right before the weather hits, you know, and like the snow comes in and stuff. It's probably pretty pleasant. That'd be another thing I'd like to do. Go to a game in Lambeau in September before misery arrives. I don't know how people live in those cities. It's fucking crazy cold. He needs to be gagged. I saw some filter that gave the Golden Girls modern haircuts and modern makeup. They were all hot. Wow. Nice suplex. Zach, unfortunately, I am a man without a team. I mean, my loyalty will always be with my birthplace of Detroit, but the Lions are garbage. Looks like they're trying to turn it around, but they're the Lions, man. And then I moved to San Diego, and look what happened. They not even here. Oof. The good news is the old quarterback that spent so much time in misery in Detroit is up in L.A. now winning Super Bowls, so I'm happy for Stafford. But the team that was here in San Diego, of course, left. That whole situation's pretty horrible, and it's hard to root for them now. Nothing against the players, obviously, but they should still be here. And they should have had a stadium built, and they should just be here. There should be a stadium right next to Petco Park where the Chargers play, and it didn't happen, so they left. So I don't really have a third team. Oh, yeah, Jarrett, you telegraphed the fuck out of that. Oh, you overbumped. You didn't have to jump over the top rope. Joseph, that would have been May. This is September. May of '99 is when Owen died. So we were just, and I actually went to the pay-per-view, the very next pay-per-view after Owen died, King of the Ring. And I've told that story before too. I was in the fourth row on the floor, so I was nearly ringside. And the very first thing I did when I got into the building and got down to my seat is I looked up and got an idea and a frame of reference of exactly how high it was that Owen fell. And as me as I looked up and visualized it, I'm like, no wonder he fucking died. It was horrifying. And I was still in mourning over that, you know. I just kind of took a deep breath because I was in there very early and I was down there by myself. My friend was up in another seat. And so I was down there alone at first. And I remember just taking a moment to myself, just being like, paying my respects, I guess, in a lot of ways. Power. Oh, no, pedigree. I was like, she's not going to powerbomb Jarrett. Oh, he's gonna slingshot her into Bruno. Look out. Oh, Whippleberger. Totally out. Their heads might have cracked together. I'm not sure. Oh, Lawler. Miss Kitty would be the reason Lawler would leave WWE for nearly a year. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. They're 100 years old. Okay, so I can add that to my list, too. I couldn't remember. I have seen Mae Young in action. I have seen Mae Young kick somebody's ass before. Oh, they're going to double suplex him. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Double clothesline. I might have popped in my chair during that. I can't imagine me sitting in my seat and not thinking that was the greatest. Oh, man. He looked like he really laid that kick into Mae Young's ribs. Well, Moolah, you can kick her. Whale maneuver. Oh. Damn, Mae Young taking bumps. That's why Mae Young's awesome. Oh, God, what's he going to do to her? Oh, Deborah's coming out to put a stop to this nonsense. Oh, who'd she shove down, Kitty? Oh, no. Is she going to get in there with a guitar and waylay Jarrett? She is. You go, girl. Hurry up. Perfect. Oh, Deborah. I was about to say, I think she's going to time this really well, but it wasn't that perfect. She looked like she was waiting for him to spin around on the figure four so she could blast him. It was pretty bizarre how over all the women were. They didn't have to be able to do anything, you know. Just the presence of them. Boobs was enough to pop an audience. She got boobs, so that means we have to cheer for her. Oh, she did win. Oh, wait, no. That's right. Now I remember. I remember when she won the title in the crowd, I was saying that makes sense because Jarrett's leaving. And then when they reversed it here, I remember being really shocked. But I would see Chyna win the Intercontinental title the following year at SummerSlam, so all good for me, in case you guys are worried about me. Dr. Tom, you bastard. Oh, and she nailed him. These were just the great days of Chyna. She was so good. She looked great. She's beautiful here. Nothing bad had happened quite yet. Stephanie and Triple H had not even begun their shit. Oh. Oh, God. That was a gnarly pedigree on the doctor. Poor Chyna. It's all right, girl. Shake it off. Very little of what WWE did back in these times would go over at all with a modern crowd. Well, I mean, the crowd itself in the arena might be fine with it, but, of course, the reaction would not be so good. You got to remember the live audience would still cheer and bow down to Vince McMahon if he came out. So the audience in the crowd is usually quite different because they're all there. They're there to have fun. So that's what they're going to do, which is understandable. And this is like what they would do back then. Like Austin couldn't wrestle. He was starting to have the neck problems. But they had to put him on the pay-per-view somehow. Like you have to understand at this time, as long as Austin isn't out with surgery and he's there and he's available, but he can't wrestle, you still got to hear his music. He's still got to come out and hit the corners. So you make him the referee. That way the fans get their Austin moment. Well, that's what a lot of them are there to see. I like how they inserted Bulldog had just come back. They had that long sit-down interview Bulldog did with JR that they were supposed to play on TV where they were going to talk about a lot of stuff, Owen Hart and Bulldog's addiction problems, probably a lot of WCW stuff as well. And they cut it. They decided not to ever air it. I don't know if it's ever been released in full form or not, but they were going to show that whole thing, and maybe because of the Owen stuff, and that was discussed. Had to be weird for the Bulldog to come in. Oh, yeah, the Dudleys. So this was my first time ever seeing the Dudley boys in person. They had just come in. They called him Dr. Tom because he's the doctor of desire. That's why. Moolah and Brawler go way back. I love that. Look at that. Brawler, Moolah, Whipple, Mae Young, Slaughter. That's a lot of my childhood right there. Holy shit. There's nothing I find quite more repugnant than the stars and bars. I hate the sight of that. Flag. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, okay, so one, Nick Musser, this is a WWE ref. Who is it? I can't even see. Well, you were. I mean, you could jump the picket line. Oh, yeah, that's Jimmy Corderas. But when you do that, then I think the people who are striking kind of get pissed at you.
Acolytes, you might have given your soul to the dark side, but your ass belongs to the Dudley Boys.
This is crazy, too. I got to sit in the audience and watch this. The Dudleys come in and literally get tested. Because after what happened with Public Enemy, they had a lot of similarities to the Dudleys. And plus, they were ECW. And so they were going to come in and get some Snickers from the locker room right off the bat. So what does WWE do? Put them in there with fucking Ron and JBL and say, go out there and fuck them up, see if they can take it. And luckily they did. I mean, I think right away, since Simmons and JBL were part of the Public Enemy stuff and had firsthand knowledge of how they were in the ring, they probably recognized pretty quick here that this is not the same tag team. And any similarities between the two you might have had in your head are anything but, because the Dudleys are a completely different team and a million times better. Okay, so Carderas did get beat up by the striking refs. Well, then he should be able to sue him for assault. Carderas was the referee, unfortunate enough to be in the ring when Owen Hart died. As a matter of fact, I think Owen's leg hit him on the head or something when he came falling. Didn't the Public Enemy try to go into business for themselves? Yeah, and it didn't work. What happened was they had this idea to start like a combination frozen yogurt dildo store, and thought people could come in and shop for dildos and then get some nice frozen treats on the way out. And it didn't really work out. The location was bad. It was next to a school, and it just didn't work out. So yeah, that was another problem that they had, is just making really bad business decisions. So there's a lot of problems with the Public Enemy. And they weren't very good in the ring either. But their issues with wrestling, their issue was, I think they tried to change a finish or something like that, or refused to do something. And the Acolytes, the hell you are, and set them straight. Bears with the ball back. Probably going to be about 3rd and 10 for them. Yeah, the Public Enemy beating was pretty fun. So was the Saturn and Mike Bell. Mike Bell might have passed away. I'm not sure. Whoever the guy is that Saturn roughed up was pretty funny too. Oof. I loved it. I watch it every morning over breakfast when Brock Lesnar punched the shit out of Braun Strowman when Strowman got a little too excited. There's a cover by Bradshaw. And Bubba Ray got the shoulder up quickly there. ECW that, says Ron. I love that. Ron Simmons is so awesome. Was he still Farouk? I mean, they were the Acolyte. I think he was still Farouk. He hadn't gone to Ron Simmons yet. Farouk Assad. Big Daddy Dudley got around. They should have brought in Big Daddy Dudley for like a major run. it was never really a realistic thing that I was going to do, but I did think about it. I did think about going to wrestling school. I contacted the Malenkos in Florida, heard back, and basically got all the entry forms, everything I needed, to fill it out and send my payment in, and I could basically start whenever I wanted. That was as far as I got. And elected just not to pursue it or whatever. But I'm really glad that I didn't, because if I would have gotten into wrestling and if I would have been any good and I would have gotten into the WWE, I just would not have wanted to. I'm pretty sure I'd be well liked. I'm a pretty nice guy, but I would really be pissed off and disappointed and really mad if I worked really hard and then some stupid locker room etiquette bullshit that I wasn't even aware of got me heat and then just fucked everything to hell. It would be really hard for me to live with that. And I'd hold some major grudges and I'd be probably out for revenge or something, because I would just find that to be so fucked up. Not that that was a really super common thing or anything, but it's just I wouldn't want to go I wouldn't want them to use me, as a fucking piece of meat and say, let's just put him in there with Ron Simmons and let Ron kick the shit out of him for 10 minutes. I'm don't do that to me. I wouldn't be here and under contract if I wasn't worth anything. So there's no reason to go out there and beat the fuck out of me just for your own amusement. I'd have a big problem with that. And I probably wouldn't be able to keep my mouth shut about it, which would only give me more heat, and it probably just wouldn't work out. Ooh. Nice headbutt. I mean, at the time, I had seen Dudley's wrestle so many times on ECW pay-per-views and stuff. It was pretty cool to be sitting in the audience being like, I'm watching the Dudley boys wrestle a match. First time I've ever seen them work. And I'd been to a lot of wrestling shows by this point. So this is the first time I'd ever seen them in a match in person. Yeah, crowd's a little quiet for this one. I don't recall what I was doing. Who knows what I was saying. Speech impediment. There's a joke. What's it called? If an Italian has one arm shorter than the other, a speech impediment. And that fits because I worked for a boss for about 5 years. He owned a restaurant and was the chef there, and he hired me to basically be his right-hand guy, and he was a trip. But, man, everything was just with his hands. It was so hilarious. Nice 3D. I don't know if they called it the 3D back then. Oh, is that Richards? Is Stevie Richards trying to be the Sami Zayn in the Acolyte bloodline? He's dressed like an Acolyte. So Stevie Richards helped him out. He's got the shit on his chest, too. I love that. Stevie's weird. Oh, a UPN. That's what it is? I always liked Steve. Oh, my God. Oh, that was the Dominator. I thought he botched a powerbomb. Ingratiate himself. So Richards is in now. So that I'm trying to think, when did Richards come in then? Raven wasn't even here yet. Raven wouldn't even be in the company for another year. Grabbing the limp hand. He didn't even hit him in the face. Hit him in the titty. Yeah, that's a good point. I've never thought about that. Oh, look at Luna. During the Invasion storyline, if you would have had Ron Simmons jump and shed the Farouk name and say, I'm Ron Simmons, I'm the first ever black WCW World Champion, and I should be with them or whatever, that would be great. Maybe even go back to wearing what he wore, more of just normal shit back then. Good God! Yo, bro. God, this makes me think I'm watching Luna Vachon versus Aaliyah on SmackDown. But this is Luna and Ivory, and Luna almost... And let me tell you, for those of you young folks who don't remember life prior to these flat screen jobs that we watch all of our media on, whether it be your TV or your computer or anything, these things used to be big, bulky, and heavy and as fuck, and front heavy. All the weight was in the front. And you pick up these 19-inch TV, it weighs some shit. So if one lands on you, it would easily crush your face or something like that. Ooh, goddamn. Jesus, a phone too? Also, for those who don't know, phones used to be connected to the wall. They had cords and shit. Wow, Aaliyah's getting her ass kicked.
The challenger, this has got to be right down Luna's alley, King. Oh yeah, Luna's a nut. Luna has been...
So I'm assuming this is, what kind of match is this? I'm assuming it's a Falls Count Anywhere, hardcore, or trash can match.
Her life's getting trashed right now. I knew she was trash. Oh, she's not.
It's too bad Victoria wasn't around during this time, like prime Victoria. I'd like to see her Luna Vachon mix it up.
These girls are not holding anything back. The women's champion Ivory up in those boxes. I'm gonna tell you what.
I still have one. Mine's actually kind of like a newer version of those, like when they started switching to flat screens, but still the big tube TVs that were still very, very heavy. I still have one. It's in the garage. I use it, or I bought it on Craigslist in case I ever wanted to hook up my classic game consoles. Like I got a Nintendo and an Atari and all that shit. So I'm like, it'd be cool to have one of those TVs just available if I ever wanted to plug the shit in for fun. But now I got like the USB ones, the mini NESs and stuff. But I bought a tube TV just so I have that ability. It sits in the garage and it's heavy.
Well, they're fighting all over the back, and we've got all kinds of folks back there working.
Jesus, man, that's a dustpan. I have ordered many a dustpan for various restaurants in my life.
Hey, wait, guys, they're all over backstage. You see the photo area? Well, I thought it was. Is that Tori? She's doing a photo shoot down there. Look at that.
I've got at least 4 of them, brand new, in our storage shed. Ooh, look at Tori wearing the leopard.
Right in the temple of Tori.
She might as well get comfortable there. What is that big tub of liquid over there? Oh, no. And she beats her. I like how they still play the music. Good job, Aaliyah. Yes, Zane, I did check out the WrestleMania 1 biography. I thought it was great. Loved it.
Some really good advice that I can give you is just to, I guess, stay out of Jeff Jarrett's business.
Stay out of Jeff Jarrett's business. Lillian, you're telling them that?
Believe me, let me tell you something. See that old lady? That's a real WWF.
Oh, no. Oh, Ivory. Jesus, Moolah and May are just not taking any shit. Man, it's a good thing Moolah and Mae Young weren't in WCW around 96. NWO wouldn't have stood a chance. The way the two of them would be slapping Hogan around like a little bitch. Oh, my God. Oh, we got a 16-7 game now. 17-7 about to be. Looks like Green Bay's going to take control and probably just cruise to a win here. They're at home. 6,000-year-old rivalry against the Bears. Probably got a better team overall. They'll win. Yeah, Ramon, I got a Retron 5 right here. And I use it. I haven't used it in quite a while, but I do use it. It's great to like play NBA Jam. Love NBA Jam. To me, when that game came out, that was like the craziest graphics I had ever seen. That thing sucked a bunch of my quarters out at the arcade, and then when it got ported, it was awesome. I'd stay up all night and play that shit. It doesn't really get old, you know, which is kind of awesome. It's way better than Double Dribble, which is also an awesome game. Dabao Drabao. Okay, so where were we? Okay, we were still Babyface, Edge, and Christian. The following month would be the match with the Hardys that would kind of put them on the map as a tag team for real. And then they'd kind of go heel after WrestleMania the following year, and that's when the 5-second poses and shit started. The Outlaws were so over. I don't even 100% know where my seat is. I just know it's over there somewhere. Yeah, because from where I was sitting, the entrance would be to the right of me. So I'm over there somewhere. Oh, here comes Mr. Ass. About time. I was at Raw in November of 97. 4th row ringside. Watched LOD lose to the Outlaws. Greatest of all time. Kind of passing the torch to a future one of the greatest of all time. I never played a ton of Punch-Out. I played it a few times. All my friends had it. I didn't love the game, so I never owned it as a kid, and therefore I never purchased it as an adult. Because as an adult, I went back and rebought a lot of the games I played as a kid just for nostalgia and collection purposes. But of all the games I have over there, Punch-Out is not one of them. I should try to get a copy. But yeah, they're a little more expensive these days, but... Welcome to the doghouse, Charlotte.
Where you know the New Age Outlaws always kick that Sears mitt doggy style.
God, everything was so over. You gotta appreciate, you can't understand, like, to be there and, like, every single person dialed into this. Nobody's looking at their phone or sniffing their ass or anything. They're all in on this. 15,000 people doing this. That shit was so great. Look at Billy. Crazy good shape. Well, I went to a lot of house shows at this time, too. Outlaws would main event, a lot of them. They'd get the stars in and out of there early, and they'd have, like, the Outlaws close because they could cut a promo to send the fans home and shit. They were over. I live in cow pens. See, that was the thing you did. You just made the weirdest ass sign you could possibly think of.
To become the number one contenders in any team, anywhere that can beat the Acolytes, deserve this opportunity.
And I always liked, too, during the era of the signs, some signs would be really good. Like, one thing I knew to do when making a sign is make sure it can be read on TV. Because just because you can see it when you're drawing it doesn't mean prior to HD days that any of that shit you're drawing is going to be visible on camera. So it was cool to go through the audience and see the fans that knew what they were doing and had really good signs, and then some that were drawn like a really thin pencil or a pen or a very thin Sharpie. And a lot of times it was from a kid, so it was cute. But when an adult would do it, that's when I would laugh the most. Like a 30-year-old man carrying the sign that I can't even read, standing 10 feet away from him. He's going to hold this shit up. All it's going to do is just be this white box in the way. North Carolina. Not the brightest bulbs.
Billy Gunn and Edge here. Remember, the WWF Tag Team titles on the line, and we didn't even know this match was going to happen until tonight on Heat on the USA Network. So both these teams had the same opportunity to prepare. About an hour.
No, I was not on the camera side. Camera would be facing me. So from my seat, I would be in between the ring on my left and the entrance on my right. Just a little bit in between there. So just a little bit off to the right of the ring. Really good seats. Nearly the same exact seats I would have the next year for SummerSlam. I think my SummerSlam seats might have actually been a little better. But basically like halfway up the first level is where I was for this show. Which is ideal for me. I don't like the floor. Unless I'm like really, really close. Fuck the floor. I was on the floor for another famous match. Probably about 25 rows back. And I didn't love it, but I did get to hang out with Shane McMahon. And it was the night that Benoit and Angle had that cage match. And Angle did the big moonsault off the top. I was on the floor behind the announce desk for that. Probably about 20 rows back. And I never really sat down there before. So they're like, oh, fuck it. Let's sit on the floor. And it was fine. But I'd rather, if I'm not like super close to the ring, I'd just rather be up in the first level where I can sit in my seat and see everything.
Christian lightning quick arm drag takedown, and cinching up deeply on the arm bar is Christian, the younger brother of Edge. Badass Billy Gunn, the biggest man in this matchup, and as many have said, one of the finest athletes.
So this is kind of interesting match when you look at it because Edge and Christian weren't over yet. I mean, they were there, but they weren't over like they would be. And I think they would go on to basically take over for the Outlaws in a lot of ways. The following year, when they would start their run and they were doing the stuff with Hardys and Dudleys, but they were champions through most of that. They were retaining in a lot of these matches. They won all the TLC matches. And they started, and they almost like took the baton from the Outlaws. And I think you could argue that Edge and I believe that Edge and Christian are better in the ring than the New Age Outlaws, but you guys can let me know how you feel. Because the following year, or maybe later on here, I mean, DX would start doing weird shit. Well, hell, they already kind of broken up at WrestleMania, and then they would, maybe come back together and run again together in 2000, but Billy and Road Dogg had already broken up once, and I think they're about to break up again. Yeah, come to think of it, Billy won the King of the Ring. Then he worked Rock at SummerSlam, and so I guess that was the end of his singles push. So I guess at some point, that's when him and Road Dogg won the tag titles back, I guess. Yeah, Victor, the cage match was with Angle and Benoit was on Raw. It was in Richmond, Virginia. Same building that Cactus Jack and Terry Funk had that crazy brawl right before Over the Edge, or after Over the Edge in 98. I was at that show too. And they brawled up right next to me. Oh, so cool. I remember at the time being pretty amazed how over Road Dogg would be with something like just the shimmy and his punches and all that. As a fan that age, most fans who are that age in their 20s, they think they know it all. So, at this time, I do remember consciously thinking that a lot of the shit Road Dogg did was dumb. I remember thinking the People's Elbow was dumb. And as somebody that, really liked wrestling, I was like, this cheesy. Like, for the first time ever, wrestling is popular again. Wrestling is showing how athletic it can be. We're seeing some crazy stuff go down with the violence and the tables, and it's starting to make people realize that maybe this shit isn't so fake after all, or at least have them maybe look at it differently. And then you have the top star in the company doing a move so ridiculous, and I remember kind of not liking it. Now, as an adult, I think it's great, and I think we should see that all the time. But back then, fans that age just think they know everything, and I just remember having a problem with it, which would now, if something like that happened, I'd embrace it. But back then, I was like, yeah. Because that's just the way we all were and are. It's like people freaking out about Logan Paul. This is such a bad idea. I'm like, chill the fuck out. It's Crown Jewel. Get over yourself. It's not a big deal. If they're going to do a match that crazy, Saudi Arabia is a good place to do it. At least it's not Mania or Rumble or something. Chill out. Stop finding a reason to be recreationally outraged about something ridiculous. It's stupid. Stupid to even get mad about it. Logan Paul's going to have a good match with Roman Reigns. Hate to break it to you. Worst case scenario, if it sucks, you can be like, well, it was just Crown Jewel. Who cares? At least we didn't ruin a WrestleMania or a Royal Rumble. Green Bay on the move. Oof. The Road Dogg and Christopher. Because I know Dick about TNA, did Road Dogg or did BG James and Christian Cage have any run-ins, matches, affiliation at all in TNA together? Yeah, I mean, the feeling on the match is mixed. Some people are like, you know what, some people are like, let's just give it a shot. Who cares? And that's the attitude I take. But there are plenty of people that just think it's a terrible idea, but there in no way will this hurt WWE in any way. It's going to create headlines for him. And plus, Logan Paul, this might garner him a little bit more respect from some of the naysayers still, that he can be like, hey, I know I'm like 3 matches in, but hey, look, I'm really good and I care and I give a shit and I can be entertaining and I can draw attention to the company and that sort of thing. I thought the press conference was really good. Something like that under Vince McMahon could have easily bordered on the cringe. That was really good. And Roman came off like a star. I mean, the press conference alone had a lot of people talking about Roman Reigns. So this situation is not hurting him or WWE's reputation or anything like that. Taking pro wrestling too seriously will murder exactly what pro wrestling is and will make you miserable. I can't read that one sign. We've been I can't read it. Converted to something. Ooh. Damn, Christian ate that. I mean, I'm assuming Outlaws retain here because Edge and Christian would still be a ways off. Double DDT. Yeah, I'd have a much different opinion about Logan Paul and Roman Reigns if this was a Royal Rumble match or a WrestleMania match, like I said. Then we could debate it till the end of the year. But I don't give a rat's ass what they do in Saudi Arabia. Billy, you're dancing? To Mr. Ass. I love how Jim Ross emphasizes the ass. Oh, here comes Billy. Hot tagging Billy. Yeah, Billy is a scary guy to have to face in a hot tag situation because he's a elk. with just the perfect amount of baby oil on.
Interrupted the count, and here comes the Road Dogg. The Road Dogg coming right for Edge. Look at this. Oh, yes, Christian going behind.
Ooh.
Reverse DDT by Christian.
Oh, I thought that was a cutter. It was a reverse DDT.
Is in trouble. Oh, illegal man. What?
Ugh.
What in the hell? Doggy style pump handle.
I happen to know for a fact that Road Dogg is pretty goddamn homophobic, so I'm pretty surprised that he would constantly do that motion to so many of his opponents. Oh, the Hardys are here. Look at there. The healing Hardys with Gangrel. Oh, that's right. They dumped. They're the new brood, right? Outlaws retain with help from the Hardys. And soon, we would be telling the Outlaws to go ahead and get out of the way. Hardys and Dudleys and Edge and Christian will take it from here. And now they're running away. So first they had Michael Hayes. Now they're the new brood. But then by the time we get to the next month, they're somehow battling for Terry. So how does that all go down? Why was Terry even involved in that? Brother Nero. Oh, my God. She is on one. Oh, my gosh. Chill out, girl. You got to be cool when you're on camera. Like me. Just hold up a sign. Maybe in November we should watch Survivor Series 2001 because I am on camera the whole time. The entire pay-per-view. There I am. I'm a little ways up in the crowd, but I'm right dead center, basically, or a little bit off to the left. But you can see me. Any hard cam shot of the ring, you see me. So we can all watch me together. We'll definitely have to put that on the list for November. Terry Invitational Tournament. Thank you. Okay. Terry Invitational. Oh, tit. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Look at Bulldog and The Rock. I am pretty sure the British Bulldog flat out beat The Rock clean on a Raw in like 97 and like early 97. Things are different now. As a fan, I was happy to see Bulldog in that shirt. Triple H and the Bulldog. This is so fucking crazy. You got to remember their history, man. My brother-in-law hates your best friend, and we were all in that whole screw job shit together. And now Bulldog is back in the company. But I was so uncomfortable with him and Neidhart and WCW. It was bad enough Brett was there. But when I saw them show up, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Oh. Nobody's going to forget. I love Ray Traylor. I was about to say, he's a really, really good promo. And the Southern accent is perfect. I like Arn Anderson's like promo voice too. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so they're building the blue cage. I really hope I was going to the bathroom or something at this point, or refreshing my frosty brew. That same cage, man. I mean, I don't think they had a bunch of these things. I think it was probably just one they used. So at least that's what I was telling myself. So I'm like, that's the cage that Hogan and Bundy wrestled in. That's the cage that Warrior and Rude wrestled in, and Brett and Owen wrestled in. And that was very cool to me. But Brett and Owen, this would not be. Lord have mercy. I'm going to go get another Broken Skull lager. Y'all want one? This all started with Pepper. Oh, yeah, poor Pepper. Rest in peace.
For everything you've done to Pepper, for the memory of Pepper, I'm going to be all over your fat, donut-eating ass like a one-man crime spree. You fat, worthless son of a bitch!
You fat, worthless son of a bitch. I mean, if somebody cooked and fed bub to me, I would not rest until every one of his fingers and toes and limbs would be mailed to his mom. Here comes Al. I love head. ECW always had those little innuendos. I love head. And, Spike Dudley, little Spike Dudley, LSD, acid drop. Little Pepper. I can't believe that. I mean, they murdered animals a few times in WWE. They cooked and killed Pepper. They smashed Damien. Fucking horrible people in WWE. Who else did they kill? Oh, I think Stephanie McMahon and Triple H's dog got run over or something. Like, what the hell? What is with the animal abuse? The dog was skinned. The dog was cooked. Does that mean Boss Man did that himself? He could take a little dog like that and skin it? That's hardcore. You know what I'm really bummed out that they didn't do, and I'm surprised they didn't do, is have Boss Man come out in his old shit just once. He might have actually done the old music on a house show or something for fun, but if they put the old gimmick back on him for one night, would have been funny because he looks the same. This is just so weird, and now they're going to lower this shit. Prior to this match, I think a lot of people thought this might be kind of good. Al Snow and Boss Man are good wrestlers. And so now you got a double cage. You haven't really seen that before. You are going to have Rottweilers around the, or pit bulls or something around the ring. And the only thing I remember of this from my seat was the barking. I could hear the barking from the dogs. And then one of them I know relieved themselves. I could not see that from my seat, but I did hear the barking, and that was noticeable during the match. And the fans didn't know what to think. It was very quiet. Nobody was standing. Everybody was sitting down just talking. So what do you think the next match is? You know, it was kind of like that. Oh, yeah, now they got to bring these dogs out there. See what I mean? That's why they had to use the blue bar cage here, because if you would have done a second mesh cage, it would have been like watching like a really fuzzy TV. And digitally, it probably would have pixelated the hell out of everything. I don't get it. Where are the dogs? Well, Jim Ross, it's never your day to watch the dogs. I can't even spell Rottweiler. I'm not surprised, Jim Ross. You know what I can't spell? McConaughey. I rarely have to type Matthew McConaughey's name, but whenever I do, it's annoying. Oh, here they come. About time. Dogs are here. Ah, okay. So thank you for that. We Are Pro Wrestling. So he did. So that means I was at that show. That must be why I'm remembering it. I'm like, you might have done it as a house show because I was there. I was at that show night after King of the Ring 99 when Austin won the title in this same building, I believe, in Charlotte. Yeah. Why did they do that? I remember it now that you say it, but I don't remember why. Oh, there he goes. He did relieve himself. Oh, shit. He did piss all over the... I didn't think the relieving was caught on camera. That's hilarious. You know what that means? He was probably scared. I mean, see, there's the barking. I could hear that from my seat. But did they not practice this? Like, you dog owners out there, wouldn't you agree that that dog peeing like that was a scared pee? Holy shit, what are you doing to me, pee? I'm going into a double cage. It ain't working. It's dead in the water already. It's already dead. It's already over by this point. They're not cooperating at all. The dogs are looking at anything but the wrestlers, which I think that was part of the point, is you don't want to get in between the cages because that's where the Rottweilers are going to be. He just ran on the opposite direction. The dogs don't give a fuck. Oh, yeah, this is so horribly bad. I can't believe we're watching this. Why did we pick this one?
This whole idea was the idea of Al Snow, who is normally insane, but sometimes he told us in moments when he's only stupid.
I hope this match isn't long. I don't remember how long it is, but it's bad.
And then fed it to the boss man. As it were. Al Snow back up on top now.
Is this one of Russo? I couldn't remember if Russo had already bounced. He was about to go. I think maybe he left in October. I was thinking they might have already, him and Ferrari might have already been gone. So that means he was sitting there going, bro, what if we put one cage inside another and then wrap it in pizza dough and deep fry it and then top it with vegetarian chili? Taco Town. Look up Taco Town SNL skit next time you have time. They're just barking at each other. Ruff, ruff. Why is the camera showing that? I mean, I wonder, are the handlers and the trainers are they like, oh, fuck. The barking was driving me nuts. It's loud as shit on the pay-per-view. Oh, my God. I searched on the shelf here. I do not have this on VHS. I thought I picked it up. I didn't see it back there. I have it on... I recorded the pay-per-view while I was at the show, so I have the recorded copy, but I don't have the physical media. Now we got to go through a whole bunch of moves. I mean, how like is Vince not back there being like, "This is shit. Go home now." I have no idea. I don't remember who wins. I would hope Al Snow does, because you would think if your dog gets cooked and fed to you, you should win the match after that. Oh, he's got cutters. That's smart. How come nobody tried this in a previous Hell in a Cell? Asshole chance. Fans we're trying to get into it. Yeah. Oh, what did he hit him with? Jesus. Piece of wood. Yeah, I should. Yeah, I'm saying that like Vince was probably back there freaking out, but maybe not. He's probably watching like, this is great. But I think even Vince would agree this is pretty horrific. Man, Another thing that was crazy about this time period, oh, Al Snow's got some powder, is the merch stands. I went on a big, long gap between going to WWE shows, like a 13-year gap, but finally went back to a WWE show in 2018. And every show I've been to since then, I've noticed how different the merch stands are. They're kind of everywhere, but they weren't that prominent, and they were so, oh my God. And they were pretty old school. I'm pretty sure it was cash only back in those days, I think. And the mobs and gobs of lines, they would run out of shirts. You could forget about getting an Austin shirt. They would likely sell out pretty quick. I got my other side Jackass Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt, which was about the second one he came out with. I mailed away for the Austin 316. Still have it. The original shirt. Took weeks to arrive, but I got the other side Jackass shirt at a house show at a merch stand, and it was like a mob. And I was going to get a second Austin 316, but they didn't have any. So I was like, all right, I'll take the other side Jackass, and I got myself one of those. Working on the ring. They're not going to, don't take the turnbuckle off. It's matches. Horrible. These dogs are going to fight each other. The dogs are a non-factor. Neither one of these guys should be concerned with the dogs or treat them as any sort of an obstacle at all. Just don't go over there. Other than that, you can pretty much wrestle the match. Jesus. Well, hopefully that's just an aluminum. Oh my God, that does not sound aluminum. Oh, I was hoping that was just a gimmick shovel, but shit, maybe not. I love the Hell in the Cell back then, the size that it was. I mean, look at it. It's really not that much higher at all than the blue bar. Now it's the size of the damn Chrysler building. Please end this. I can't. We got to sit through it, guys. We can't fast forward together. That shit will never work. Plus, the timer, I cannot alter the timer. The way I make that timer work is that timer is actually a video of a timer that I made, and then I just shrunk it down and cropped it into that point, and then I can start it. So I can't rewind it or do anything. It just plays. And if I shut it off and restart it, it starts over. So that was like the best way I could think of to make this work instead of like manually plugging in a timer. Doing it this way was easier for these purposes. In case you're wondering how I do it. What is he doing? Oh. You just see the wide shot of Al on the turnbuckle. He just flies backwards. Oh my God, he's trying to shake. There you go. And he just flies off the turnbuckle and back bumps. That's really funny. There's head. Oh, pretty good shot with the head. We got to be strong. It's still going. We can do it, guys. Oh, here comes Boss Man. He's going up too. Boss Man's still trying to get out his little escape hatch. What are they doing? Okay, they're just trying to avoid the dogs, but... So they're just trying to break their way out? Oh, he's out. So that's how... Oh, yeah, Kennel from Hell. So I guess even though it was a Hell in the Cell match, it had cage rules where you could escape. That's how... I didn't even know how you were supposed to win that way, but good. It's over. Second time I saw the Hell in the Cell that year, too. WrestleMania 15. It was the first time I'd seen the Cell in person kind of hanging like that. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, I know. The dogs are still barking. Lift that Cell up and get those pissing and shitting machines out of there. He's like, I'll go out this door. That cage is just... Don't step in the dog piss. Or shit. There he goes. Don't worry, boss man. You were fine. JR said Al Snow pulled head out of his sack. One guy fell. What an embarrassment. My God. Yes, I had to sit through that in the audience. You guys should send me flowers and like give me gifts for that. Like for condolences and healing and PTSD purposes. Rock and Sock. That's right. That's another famous show that I was at. Probably the next night is when that went down. Also another show. That's right. Another rare show that I was on the floor. I think I was 12 rows back again behind the announce desk for This Is Your Life. That got like the highest rating in Raw history. Wow, what a life I've led. I've been here, I've been there. Here comes Jericho. Another cool thing, it's my first time seeing the Dudleys live and in person, and this is be my first time seeing Jericho wrestle in person. And just a few hours later, we'd be hanging out on the side of the road. I forgot about Mr. Hughes. First time I'd ever seen Hughes in anything else other than the suit and suspenders. They're taking that cage away. Suck this. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the Mr. Hughes alliance here because I think they were just trying shit with Jericho, but if they were going to stick him with anybody, they should have just brought in Ralphus. Oh, they are still taking that cage down. That's right. They are stalling. Hurry up. They are still sweeping the ring out. You want to cut to a video package or something? They did not execute this well at all. I mean, is Vince freaking out back there? Oh, good. Jericho's going to get on the mic. I don't remember this. That's so funny. I don't remember that Jericho's in the ring before they are done breaking this shit down. I wonder what I was thinking. Okay, there's the CA up there above Jericho's head, so that's where I'm sitting. I was looking for that big candy sign, so that's where I am, right over there. Damn, I did have good seats, didn't I? Holy shit. Yeah, there's the CAN up there. Okay. So that gives me an idea of where I'm at. Those are great seats, y'all. And he would pull over and try to save people later on in Charlotte. So he lived up to his word.
To save this boring, brutal pay-per-view. We've been listening to you, JR.
Yeah, that last match was pretty bad. Jericho's right.
And every one of you, what you really, truly wanted to see.
If the plugs can handle it, I would love to see Jericho do that hairstyle on Dynamite for fun. Oh, I think that's me holding my "It Burns When I Peace" sign up again.
To take Ken Shamrock's place, that's just fine, because I'll just have to end your career tonight as well. Just like he did Road Dogg. Because that's what each and every one of the Jerichoholics here tonight came to see. I wouldn't mind seeing that myself.
There I am again. I'm still holding it. Another shot of me. That's hilarious. Ugh. You know who I also used to pop? Is people at ringside. I've gotten responses from Lillian Garcia, Jim Ross, Howard Finkel, being at shows, and sometimes when they're just sitting there in between shit or before the show or commercials and they're just out there, they're kind of looking in the audience. So, like, you flash your sign at them, and I sometimes got approval or disapproval of signs from both. X-Pac. And that was fun, too. Howard definitely saw my "It Burns When I Pee" sign because he kind of went like, he made like a face. Now, what's interesting about this match, I'm not sure if it's going to be noticeable on camera here, but I remember being in my seat, being really interested in this match. First of all, I was kind of marking out. I was a big Chris Jericho fan in WCW. My first time seeing him live. He's wrestling one of my favorite wrestlers in the company. In my head, on paper, this is just going to be a brilliant match. And the fans were bored by it. And I remember being like really offended that they were like kind of booing and saying boring. And I'm like, these fucking hillbilly fucks, all they want is to see Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's all they want. They don't give a shit about anything else. And I remember being like really annoyed that they were just not paying attention. I'm like, this is a great match. But, you know, in retrospect, there was no real issue between these two guys. So there's really no reason for the fans to care. So it really wasn't their fault. But in my mind, it was a cool thing to see this match happening in a WWE ring. I appreciated the awesomeness of it. And these two men had my full attention in terms of me wanting to see this match. So when the fans around me are like, this is boring, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? This is awesome. So,
Large heart is actually a medical problem similar to a brain aneurysm.
yeah, it's similar to a brain aneurysm. It's not the same thing, though.
I switch go behind by X-Pac. Takedown by Chris Jericho. There'll be
Look at Tom getting down.
chances taken in this matchup. We'll see some high-risk offense, no doubt about that.
Pretty sure Dr. Tom and
Pinfalls.
X-Pac were...
Wonder who's the quicker of the two.
No, I was about to say, I think they were on opposite or on the same team at a Survivor Series one year, but I don't think they were. That might have been Candido.
X-Pac's quicker than a hit up. I don't know if anybody's quicker than this kid. Y2J. Nice move by X-Pac up and over. And Jericho had a stutter step there. Walked right into a hip toss.
Nice.
X-Pac right back up with the little DX top there.
X-Pac's in great shape here. Come a long way from his 1, 2, 3 kid days.
Jericho, the hard knife
He had his personal demons, but in terms of in the ring, he was so good.
down to one knee that time. Vicious. We're seeing a very vicious, mean streak. And don't think that Jericho doesn't have one. He does, folks. A very pronounced mean streak. We haven't seen it that often. But
You know, I don't remember if Six and Jericho squared off in WCW. They might have. If they did, that would have been, Jericho would have still been like the baby face. He would have just come in. If that match did happen, it probably would have been pretty early on in Jericho's run. We All Pro Wrestling is the guy for that.
Jay is vicious as Shamrock. Or as Road Dogg, for that matter. Shamrock was dressed in full hockey regalia last Thursday on UPN. And that's certainly Jericho got some help from Curtis Hughes as well.
Curtis Hughes.
Shot by, this time by Jericho.
he had so many little runs, and they brought him in to do the same exact shit with Triple H, like 2 years, almost 3 years before this. He came in for about 3.5 hours to be the backup to Triple H right before they transitioned into China. He's another guy that's been able to be Mr. Hughes everywhere he's been. He's Mr. Hughes in WCW, too. So I think that's his real name. Curtis Hughes is his real shoot name. I think if I was a wrestler, I would make that. Now that there's competition and there's a couple of options to go to, I would protect my brand as best I could, even though WWE does a lot to undo all that stuff. With Triple H there now, they might be a little bit more open to a guy that's got enough of a reputation that he says, look, if I come in, that's fine, but I want to keep my name. I want to keep who I am, because if I leave here, I want to still use it, and I'm not going to sign with you unless you let me do that, because I can go sign over there. They're willing to let me do that, so you can either take that or you can let me go. If controlling your intellectual property is really that important to you, then that's fine, but I'm going to go work over there because Tony Khan doesn't give a fuck, and he'll let me do whatever I want. So if WWE starts picking up indie stars again or anybody that's out there, hopefully they won't ass rape their name too much. Like, I think it would have been cool if Kevin Steen kept his name, but I am also satisfied with Owens because of the reason he picked it and stuff. I think that's awesome, but if there's another Kevin Steen-like situation, and if I'm in that person's shoes, I would say, no, I am who I am. That's my real name. That's what I wrestle under, and that's what I'm going to continue to wrestle under. Well, what if we need to do something to get you over? I already am over. You wouldn't be talking to me if I wasn't. So shut up. If I was a wrestler, I would be well liked by my locker room wrestlers, but maybe not liked by management. Provided I had enough stroke, that is. If I could get fired for farting, then I'm not going to be opening up my mouth too much, but you know, if I've got enough value to where speaking my mind isn't going to do anything to me, I will do plenty of it. That's right. I forgot. I think there's something else going on too. There's either a fight or a girl took her top off. Could be either. A lot of times, you guys have probably seen this yourselves going to shows. People get out there, get attention. See, they're all going nuts for something. I think this one, either somebody's getting thrown out there or there's a naked girl up there. I'm pretty sure that might be somebody getting ejected, but I don't remember. It's pretty close to where I was sitting. But the crowd was just not into this, you know. I think the Southern audience maybe appreciated just like a really good wrestling match between two really good wrestlers a little bit less than maybe some other parts of the country. As somebody who's watched wrestling live in multiple parts of the country, in the North, the South, and the West, there is differences in the fans, but there's also a million similarities as well.
I guess you're picking X-Pac, right? I think I'll go that way.
Yeah, something's going on up there. I don't remember. Festive crowd, so announcers are trying to cover for this. What the hell? I was watching this from my seat. What the hell am I looking at? I'm trying to remember what this was all about. I remember the fans booing more than I remember this. Or the fans chanting boring. So maybe because of a lot of this excitement that was going on, once this clears up, maybe that's why then the fans are like, oh, who cares about this match? I think it was just a fan being really entertaining and maybe security shut it down. I don't remember. Look at that moon. That lion salt was perfect. Yeah, Ray. Could definitely be a girl taking her top off. That was very common. Happened all the time. Oh, it's a beach ball. There is a beach ball out there. Maybe we need Cesaro to take care of that. X-Pac sucks chance now? Fans chanting for X-Pac. I don't think they're chanting for him. Oh, yeah, Mr. Hughes is in great shape. Oh, wow. I haven't seen Jericho go to the top rope for that move very often. That's his normal springboard that he hits, but he went all the way to the top. What are we chanting? Eat more something. I wish I had memories of this. I don't. Another thing that because I don't remember a lot of stuff. Another thing that I never really did very often after I went to shows is watch the shows that I went to. I don't know why I didn't. I think it's just because I had so much fun at the show. I didn't want to think about not being there. I don't know why. I just never really went back and watched them unless there was something specific I wanted to see. I still recorded the footage, so I had it anytime I wanted to see it, but I never really watched it. So if I would have came back and watched the show 6 times, I could have probably remembered what the hell was going on in the crowd. Maybe my friend does. X-Pac taking out Curtis. Wow. Thought X-Pac was going for a phenomenal forearm for a minute. Yeah, we want what? I'm not sure, Ray. I don't know what they want. Yeah, I've been to a couple shows that had beach balls. This was one of them. I've never caught a T-shirt out of the gun. I've came close. I've had a few fired my way, but I've never snagged one. It's a 24-10 game, by the way. 5 minutes to go in the third. Green Bay on the move again. Oof. I would have been curious to see how Kenny fit in with Angle and Benoit and Eddie. He got out of there, and his run was so short, man. 2 years. I remember one of the first times Shamrock had a match on Raw. I had a date that night, and I recorded Raw, and we went out to Outback Steakhouse for dinner. And I remember recording Raw and coming home later and watching it. And Shamrock, I remember watching it in the dark on my little TV. I was laying on my couch. It was a great date, but unfortunately not that great of a date. So I was home, and I was watching it. And I just remember Ken Shamrock having this like exhibition against this fellow, Vernon White, and just fucking him up, got him all bloodied and stuff. And that was like making me wonder how Shamrock is going to fit in as a wrestler. So he came a long way from that, from being a guy who's just like smashing your face to being a guy that could, you know, kind of work a little bit. He was kind of fun to watch in the ring a little. I don't think he was nearly as good as Kurt or Brock, not even close, but he was good enough, you know, for the time. So by the time we got here in 99, he'd come a long way from those weird early matches when he was bludgeoning Vader's face and stuff. Oh, Hughes is in there. So if he would have been there when Benoit got there and Angle got cooking, oh my God, that would have been interesting and wicked fun. Oh, and it's a DQ? Yeah, I guess I can understand. It's not really the fans' fault for not liking this match. Here comes Rhodey. He's been spending his days hard on the road. Hughes' glasses never came off. I think he was a robot. Okay, so Road Dogg came to X-Pac's save here. I'm glad this Curtis Hughes stuff was super short-lived. Yeah, X-Pac will go heel about a month later. Thanks, Victor. I was curious. All right, main event time already? I guess it is, huh? Thank you for that, Fox Star Killer. I was curious. We were wondering about, I was asking about the Russo and Ferrara stuff, so it was the weekend after this. While Vince and company were overseas for the Rebellion pay-per-view. That's right. I knew they were overseas. Are you guys glad Triple H didn't keep that weird chain vest thing? Kind of had Steiner vibes. Steiner vibes. And Jesse. What a weird situation. That's a SummerSlam I don't really like. I mean, I think Austin should just put him over. Honestly. And then Triple H would have to win it on Raw. I feel like Triple H's first win reminds me a little bit of Edge's first win. It was just cheap, you know? You know, and Triple H has to, and Edge both celebrate like they've won the main event of WrestleMania, but it was with a whole lot of controversy. And then he loses it to Vince. He got a rocky first start. Oh, I was at that show where he's hitting Kane with the sledgehammer. I think that was Fayetteville. All right, we're getting this like video thing here. Let me turn this volume down in case there's any copyrighted BS. I like how they're showing us narration here. Yeah, it's super loaded. I mean, it's him winning, and then the Vince stuff, Wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger involved in one of these? And now Vince challenges, or Triple H challenges Vince, and Vince somehow wins the title. This is a very odd music choice. At this time, WWE was so up the ass of like that heavy metals type of stuff. That's what every video package was. This is like some funky little jazzy something. I don't know what it's called. Although it's very possible that this is dubbed. I should have thought about that. I'm curious if this is a dubbing or if this is what they really played. And it's not Limp Bizkit or something. Yeah, I can barely hear Austin. That leads me to believe that this is probably some dubbed over crap. Okay, thank you for that, Foxstar Killer. Yep, I was right. I was about to say, don't they usually like crazy heavy shit? So yeah, Fear Factory and System of a Down in this package. Well, that explains it. Yeah, because you can always tell when they do that because you can barely hear the audio under the dubbed bullshit. God, so awful, so terrible. This is one thing Triple H needs to address, is whatever the next streaming deal is, have everything in its original form. How hard is that? Yeah, I don't know why it didn't occur to me a minute ago that this was dubbing, because we've seen so many horrific examples of music dubbing. When we watched SummerSlam 1990 last month, I almost shit myself when I heard Ravishing Rick Rude's theme and how god-awful it was and how offensive it was to dub it over with something that was that horrible and horrible sounding. Music dubbing is my least favorite part of streaming. That's why I still, that's why I still care about owning some physical media and owning some raw footage. A lot of raws and all the raws that I have and stuff I recorded right off TV. It can't be edited. It's the way it was. Same thing with pay-per-views. All the pay-per-views during this era, I ordered right off pay-per-view, recorded on my VCR, and then would transfer that to DVDs and then rip it to hard drives. So I have everything in its original form. So if a meteor hit Earth and we had no internet, but I somehow had electricity, I could watch all the wrestling I wanted. Got to have that electricity, though. Oh, fair catch. Way back at the 10 for Chicago. Fourth quarter, they're down 2 touchdowns. It's going to be rough. Going to be rough, Bears. It's weird that they didn't have British Bulldog's old theme. I think he'd still come out in his old gear here, though, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he would. And for me, it was great to see him back because I loved Davey Boy Smith, one of my all-time favorites as a kid. Basically, one of the reasons why I became a super fan. I already was liking wrestling, but by the time the Hearts and the Bulldogs came around, that's what pulled me in. And I really hated the screw job and what happened to the Hart Foundation, which I thought was a great faction. And seeing Davey in WCW made my stomach turn, man. Especially when he was just there taking up space. He wasn't there to do anything. Oh, yeah, they're teasing the collusion between Triple H and the Bulldog. So let's see some of the history here Bulldog has with some of these guys. I bought this sign at Walmart. That's a good sign. Mick was on the opposite sides of a WrestleMania match against Davey Boy Smith and exchanged tag team titles with him, with Austin. I don't think Davey and Big Show had any run-ins in WWE at this point. Maybe one in WCW. There might be a Giant versus Davey Boy Smith match there from Nitro. I don't know. We know Davey Boy and Triple H have got a ton of history from the Hart Foundation and DX stuff. Yeah, Bulldog, them putting him in this match, I don't remember why they did this or if he had to qualify for this spot or whatever they did it, but he was a name from the past that came back. I mean, when Davey was there previously, you know, he's a pretty big deal in the company. He was one of the top tier guys, or higher tier guys, I should say. He was a champion most of the time there, whether it was tag or European. I'm trying to think. Okay, so another thing I remember is Bulldog and Owen, I'm pretty sure, wrestled New, Razor, and Diesel on an In Your House one year. So that means Bulldog's been in the ring with Kane before. Probably Isaac Yankem, too. Oh, Chyna's with Triple H. I love it. I loved them together. I loved this song. I like Triple H at this time period with Chyna. He was great. Okay, it was Bulldog was sub for Taker. Okay. We got to hear 2 My Times on this pay-per-view. So maybe that offsets the horror of the Kennel from Hell a little bit. They're already chanting Rocky. We got Rocky and Austin about to come out back to back. I have heard Rock and Austin's theme music hit back to back in person, I'd say 10 times. Between all the matches I've seen them wrestle against each other. And situations like this, where I'm sure Austin's going to come out as the ref at the end. The Rock. Oh, these were the days. Oh, yeah, I wish you could be here with us. Well, guess what, JR? I am, bro. Oh, I remember him. The dude with the Rock mask. He was all over the arena. He was so over. Yeah, you said Chyna. Oh, yeah, I guess Chyna isn't out there. Huh. Yeah, I guess she didn't come out with him. The Bulldog. Yeah, like I said, the Bulldog and the Rock. Pretty sure Bulldog beat him on Raw a couple years earlier. Clean as a sheet. Nobody got a louder pop than Austin. As great as The Rock's pop was, Austin's was still greater. Nothing that I've ever heard has topped a Steve Austin pop. And I've seen him win the championship twice. I've heard the loudest pops that Austin can possibly get. And he still achieves that now. But I still think this was about when it was as loud as ever. 98 as well. But if Austin didn't exist, people would still say the Rock's pops were the loudest they've ever heard. So you had 2 of them happening at the same time. It was pretty crazy. Wow, look at Rock and Bulldog. Now, wouldn't they have that dog shit match or something at the next pay-per-view? Why the hell did I think Austin was the referee in this thing? Or is he just the enforcer? Okay, special outside enforcer. Got it. Oh, that's cool, Daniel. Won the title live at 5 years old in Iowa. Triple H won the title in Iowa? I never saw Triple H. Oh, yeah, I see Triple H. I have seen Triple H win the title. He wins around. I'm about to say, have I ever seen Triple H win the title? Yeah, Greg, you have. Oh, I wonder when that was. What's the damn rules here? Is this elimination or what? So tags can be made at any time. I mean, just if you're in arm's reach of anybody, that just means they can reach out and touch you, and then that counts as a tag. That scab referee. The hell he ain't. I was like, I don't give a shit about what seven son of a bitch. Yeah, I mean, if he's the only real referee they have on the roster, it makes sense that Corderas needs to be the one in there refereeing this match and not Whippleberger or Brawler. I don't even want to know. If you hate dubbing, watch SummerSlam 91. We almost did. We never got to it last month. They did the unthinkable. What'd they dub, Brett? I hope they didn't take away the love song to Randy Savage and Elizabeth. I got my own six-pack challenge going right here. I like that Austin's just going to be on commentary and sit down while being the enforcer. Imagine WrestleMania 1, Muhammad Ali plopping down next to Gorilla and Jesse and just doing commentary while he watches the match. That would have been hilarious. Oh, they did fuck with together? Oh, no. Can't do that. Man, I actually thought they were going to do Austin and Hogan when Austin said he was going to open up a can of whoop ass on him at the Hall of Fame or whatever. I was like, holy shit, they might actually do Austin and Hogan, but never got to it. I would not have wanted that match to happen unless Austin won 100%, and I just don't think Austin or Hogan would have gone for it. I mean, it was pretty cool, too, seeing the Giant in WCW or WWE. I just hated his name. He would win the title. I kind of forget about that sometimes. No, Hogan's so horrible. He's such a pathological liar. And he's so full of shit. And I sometimes get mad at Hogan because I feel like he should have done better with the legacy that was given to him. And that he helped make. You know, being the Babe Ruth of wrestling, you know. Flair, too. I mean, imagine if Hogan and Flair were the exact same characters they were on TV. Nothing was different about them at all. But behind the scenes, they both had the personalities of a Bryan Danielson. They would still, I mean, they would be worshipped every day, you know? Yeah, imagine if, like, Hogan had the personality of Bryan Danielson and Ric Flair had the personality of Adam Cole. But they were still the same people in the ring, same career, same everything. But that's who they were behind the scenes. That personality change might have affected an outcome of a match or two, but I think in terms of where their legacy was in wrestling, it would be much, much greater than it even is currently, because they've kind of both disgraced themselves in various ways. Hogan disgraces himself, gets over it, disgraces himself again, gets over it, disgraces himself again. He kind of likes it. Oof. Low blow by the dog. Yeah, Austin and Davey go back a long way, too. Mankind doesn't want to go in because it's The Rock. Funny. He's tagging Kane. He goes, you go do it. Well, that's worse. Like, if you care about your friend, you sick the big red machine on him? That's cold. It's cold-blooded, Mick. Russian leg by The Rock. We got 8 minutes left in this game. 2-touchdown game. Not totally over, but I believe it's over. Yeah, I think Hogan especially, maybe not so much Flair, but Hogan especially, I think could have, I think him pulling the doesn't work for me, brother, and protecting himself too greatly was really unnecessary. Some of those losses that he didn't take or some of those matches he didn't have. I mean, what if he did wrestle Brett in 93 and Brett beat him with the sharpshooter? Would that have mattered at all, in the grand scheme of things? When people would celebrate Hogan today, would people say, oh, he wasn't that great, he tapped out to Brett at SummerSlam? They're like, no, he tapped out to another one of the greatest ever. And so things like that, I think, almost hurt Hogan's reputation, because if he just would have done some business, and maybe not been such a fucking prick, and all, the stuff he did with Shawn at SummerSlam 2005 and not, wanting things to go a certain way, if he just would have not been such a stickler, he could have made just as much money, and he would have had a better reputation for it, and he would have been celebrated just as equally. Those losses would have done nothing to him. And it was just holding guys down for sport. It doesn't matter how many matches Triple H loses. He's still going to be viewed as one of the best of all time. Same thing with The Rock and Austin, Foley. They are all in the entranceway here. Everybody. I don't think there's one guy in the ring. Yeah, Foley's out there. Kane, Rock, Bulldog, Show. So without knowing the rules here, I'm almost certain this is not elimination. So it's probably just pinfall for first to pinfall wins this nonsense. There's not a combatant in this match who's not a Hall of Famer. Or at least a future Hall of Famer. Oh, my. Just a couple of months away from their big program. Cactus and Triple H at the Rumble. And The Rock with the stairs bump. Oh, is tomorrow night a doubleheader, huh, for Monday Night Football? Wow. Yeah, I'll be eyeballing Raw. I don't know what they have planned for tomorrow even. I might not even watch the show, to be honest. I might take tomorrow night off from wrestling, so no plans for a Raw review or anything like that, but I am getting jacked for Grand Slam, man. We'll be watching that together on Wednesday. I got to throw the link up on the channel for that. I've seen Austin do guest commentary no less than twice as well. That night that Benoit and Angle wrestled in that cage match. I'm pretty sure Austin was on commentary for that because I remember looking at his bald head with the headset on from my seat. I love Rock. Funny. Rock was saying shit on the mic back then that just nobody had it. Whoa, they're all coming. The zebras are here. That nobody was saying. Like mocking people in the way that he did that. Like no wrestlers prior to his generation weren't cutting promos that way. He was so different. That's why it was so over. You're like, holy shit. Oh, big back elbow. Yeah, are the refs out here because Timmy White, rest in peace. Are they out here because they're pissed at Corderas, so they're going to jump him? Fellas, you should be waiting till after this match to do that. What this means is they're setting up a way to get Corderas out of there, which means Austin can become the authority in the ring. Oh, look at Bears on the goal line here. Do they score? Looking at some replay here. It looks like they do. Yeah, they do. I think they do. Is he in? Is he over the line? Yeah, Jesus. Just barely. I think that's a touchdown. I think the ball broke the plane. No. Oh, they were just showing. I thought he did score. I guess he didn't. His knee must have been down. I was looking at the ball, maybe not the knee. All right, Rock's in there, hammering Show's face. JR would just randomly just bust out heights and weights of dudes. Nice shot. Makes the save, Triple H. Yeah, the ref strike angle, I didn't understand it either. I thought it was dumb. I'm like, what's the point? Wow, Rock took Austin's beer, spit it in the face of Triple H while Kane looks on. Fighting like cats and dogs out here. For some reason on my YouTube, on this one computer, not my other one, my default playback setting is 360p, and it pisses me off because it's always blurry, so I have to just go in and fix it to 1080 or 4K or whatever I'm running. But even when I try to set it at that, it keeps going back to 360. I don't know why. Random good mic work complaint from home. Oh, big tombstone to Foley. What's on Foley's shoes? Is that blood? Is that red shit all over his... Kane's out. Oh, Kane doesn't get jumped by the refs. No, he's already back. He's going to the top. My name is Kane. Oh, Bulldog's in now. Hey, who's legal? You have to keep track of who's legal in this? That sucks. Corderas don't know what the hell's going on. No, he doesn't. I don't know what the hell's going on. Wow. Pedigree to the Bulldog. Yikes. Last time Bulldog and Triple H mixed it up, I argue that Bulldog had a higher spot on the roster. Not now. That damn sock. He's going to put it on the Rock? Oh, no. Our friends. Oh, yeah, he was just messing with the Rock the whole time. Yeah, I'm assuming that This Is Your Life must be the next night because I was at that show. And I know that was in Greensboro, and I'm pretty sure that's where we drove. Oh, rock bottom. As a fan, I remember thinking that Triple H would probably still retain, or not retain, but win back the belt. Because as a fan, I was already thinking that it would be odd to finally make Triple H the champion and then take the belt off of him immediately and then move on to another champion. That just seemed like not what they would do. So I was not surprised by any of this. Big choke slam coming to Foley. Look out, buddy. Ugh. These guys had a lot of history. I watched them wrestle at WrestleMania 15. Oh, there we go. Finally. Look at it's Kyoto and Timmy White pulled him out. Now they're just oh my God. Corderas is the printer in Office Space, and they bring it out to the field and they fuck it up. Here comes Austin. It's a referee brawl. Teddy Long, one for you too, Earl. Get away, little Brian. Oh, Timmy White, each one. Oh, every one of those referees took those punches and took them well and sold well. Look at Earl. Like, Austin, chill, man. Chill. Ah. And one for Earl, too. Austin just took out all the... Oh, don't beat up Timmy White. God. The friendly tap. Oh, here comes Austin. 1, 2. Nope. Yeah, if I ever go to New England, I want to go to the friendly tap. No, oh, look at the fans cheering. They thought that was it. 2. Oh, the fake out. I don't recall. I don't have any memories of the fake out or if I was faked out. Austin is now in the ring. This was also pretty close to around the time that Raw ran the Georgia Dome. I think maybe the next month or maybe it already happened. But they had a big crowd for that too. Might have been in October. Oh, rock bottom to Triple H. He's going for the Mr. Peeper's elbow. Boom. Oh, now they're pulling out Austin. Oh, no. Austin's going to get worked over by Show. Low blow. Oh. Oh, Bulldog's hit. That's one of my favorite chair shots ever. Oh, no. And the pedigree. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ah. Damn it. Triple H has done it again. Already, he is a 2-time WWF champion in a matter of weeks. Building that resume strong early. He'd lose it again at Survivor Series only to regain it at the beginning of the year, the end of the year. So he'd be a 3-time champion by the time they get into that match with Cactus at the Rumble. And then he would retain at Mania. Yeah, there you go. I was about to say, you're going to eat a stunner. So Austin and Triple H would work that No Mercy match, if I'm not mistaken. I don't recall the finish. I just know Austin doesn't win the title. And then he would have to leave. And he would miss his Survivor Series scheduled match. And, of course, you send the Southern crowd home happy with Stone Cold, toasting some Steve Weisers. Great times. Nice catch, Austin. It's kind of cool watching Austin drink beer while I'm drinking Austin's beer 23 years later. If I could go into that building, walk down to my seat, and whisper to myself, say, in 23 years, you're going to live a whole nother lifetime. Once your life doubles, you're going to be sitting in front of a computer screen talking to a bunch of people, watching this pay-per-view, drinking that guy's very own beer. I would have probably attacked him because I thought it would have been crazy, and I would have been worried for my life, so I probably would have had to take him out. But I think I could take me in a fight. I could beat myself up. Oh, totally. That is the end of Unforgiven 1999. Unforgiven 2000 is about to play. Y'all just want to watch another one? Unfortunately, I don't have time. I do have to get out of here, but I appreciate you guys being with us here tonight. Looks like Packers are going to take care of the Bears. We had fun reminiscing about Unforgiven 1999. I had a fun time at that show. Glad you guys were here with me so I could relive some of these memories and remember these times. It was great. Oh, yeah, and that's right. The Rock cost Austin the title at No Mercy. That would set up the triple threat at Survivor Series, and Austin would have to miss that. So, yeah, I remember now. So, next week is open. I do not have a show selected yet, so I'll give it some thought. We'll talk about it this week. The next scheduled video is going to be Wednesday. Of course, we're going to be up here watching Grand Slam because we're going to crown a new AEW champion, which I believe will be Bryan Danielson, but we're going to watch that together, and that's a pretty stacked card. That's a free pay-per-view on cable, so we'll be watching that on Wednesday. It's going to be fun. But until then, take care, and thank you for being here. Have a good rest of your Sunday night. Enjoy what's left of the weekend, and I'll catch you